We back, and it's like we never left. Big Deke news. So if you guys didn't know, if the NFL season ended today, your Pittsburgh Steelers would be the number 6 seed in the AFC side of the playoffs.
Playoffs?
I know, that's contrary to the popular negative sentiment that has inflicted Steeler Nation, or at least Steeler Nation social media right now, because if you look on Twitter, basically every Steeler type of account thinks the Steelers are the worst team in the NFL, despite being in the playoffs. If the season ended today, despite being in the playoffs, the Steelers are the worst team in the league. And most of these accounts want the Steelers to lose out these next 4 games because it'll lead to some serious changes. But you know what changes I want to happen is for the Steelers to just simply get healthy and for us to get our QB1 back. Because I have a hunch that if Kenny Pickett was in these last 2 games, the Steelers come out of the stadium with a victory. So that plays in somewhat to the state of the Steelers at this moment. There is some context there, but people forget pretty quickly. Like, having Kenny Pickett does matter. There is a reason he is the starter. Because despite all the stats that you're seeing being put out there on social media that indicate that Kenny Pickett is so bad, he's so atrocious, the Steelers are 7-2 in games that he finishes this year. And as much as people want to belabor on Kenny's inconsistencies for 2023 or some of his up and down play, how about we talk about the 2 things that he has done well or has done on a consistent basis? 1 is not turn the ball over, and 2 is get better as the game goes on, particularly in the second half, and deliver clutch game-winning drives. Both those things would have helped the Steelers win against the Cardinals and Patriots, no? But I'm also seeing these Steeler accounts do this trendy thing where each week they compare good quarterback performances to Kenny. And they only go week by week. They take an individual week, they take a good quarterback performance, and then they compare it to Kenny Pickett and act like Kenny's incapable of doing what this quarterback can do. As if just, 2 weeks ago? In Pickett's first game without Matt Canada, he basically threw for 300 yards and a touchdown against the Bengals. That is if the Deontay catch was reviewed, but you get my point. And then following up last week against the Cardinals, I'd say the offense was moving the ball pretty good. I thought Kenny was doing solid. It's unfortunate he got hurt, though. But it is, man, I'm telling you, you go on Twitter, you go on social media, Joe Flacco this, Jake Browning, he's doing that. The trend of this week is Zach Wilson. Oh my God, look at Zach Wilson. Kenny Pickett could never. Weren't you guys doing the same thing like a month and a half ago with Josh Dobbs? Oh, look at his first 3 weeks with the Vikings. He just came up off the street and he's able to do that. Why can't Kenny do that? What about Josh Dobbs now? Oh, we don't want to talk about that. We just, yeah. I get it. CJ Stroud yesterday against the Jets. CJ Stroud head and shoulders above Kenny, no? The tape's getting out there a little bit more and more on him. And prayers up to him with the concussion. But yeah, he was doing nothing when he was in the game against New York. We just want to focus on good quarterback performance or, these outlier quarterback performance. Honestly, like that's my thought with the Jake Browning, the Flacco stuff. But with him, it's getting weird. It's getting really weird with Joe Flacco. Really, really weird because these Steeler accounts are slurping him off for throwing for 303 touchdowns this last game. Want to ignore the 2 turnovers. Want to ignore that he's 1-1. Like right now, I would imagine the way that these Steeler accounts think of Joe Flacco, that he'd be undefeated. But no, he's 1-1, lost to the Rams last week. His QBR is 41. Like, can we see how the whole Joe Flacco experiment plays out with the Browns first? Can we see that? Because it's Joe Flacco. Let's not forget there's a reason why he was sitting at home at 38 years old. Jake Browning, there's a reason why you've never heard of his name until these last couple weeks. Can we see how that plays out? Again, Josh Dobbs, right? Josh Dobbs. You still want Josh Dobbs? Let it play out, man. It's the NFL. Like, people want to act like if we had one of these quarterbacks that has a hot 2 or 3 week stretch that the Steelers would be in such a better position. We'd have such a better record. No, we'd have a better record if Kenny would just be healthy. If you want to knock Kenny for something, if you want to complain about Kenny for something, it's just, bro, you got to stay healthy out there. Because If he's healthy, we're competing for a 1 seed. Why do I know that? Because when Kenny Pickett's in at quarterback, the Steelers win games. And all I'm saying is we have 4 more games rest of the season. All very winnable. If you want to say they aren't winnable or you want to guarantee that these games upcoming are losses, then whatever. Just be negative for the sake of being negative, because we're going up against the Colts with Gardner Minshew, the Bengals with, who knows, Browning or McCarron, the Seahawks. I guess they'll have Geno Smith by then, but they're on a downward trajectory. And then the Baltimore Ravens, last week of the season. It's Baltimore. We've beat them before. So yes, all winnable games. Like, if the Steelers had your mentality going back to 05, the 05 Steelers, right? 7-5, coming off of a 3-game losing streak. They got to win out to get the 6th seed for the playoffs. What do? They win out. Oh, but they'll never win big. They'll never do anything in the playoffs. Go on the road at Cincy. Go on the road against Peyton Manning and those Colts. Those Colts, they're so good. The 1 seed in the AFC, they're unbeatable. And then also, after that, go on the road and play the Denver Broncos, win the Super Bowl. Oh, they would never do that. You get in the playoffs, you got a chance, and you see what happens. And you saw what happened in 2005. Ended up with a Super Bowl. But now I'll probably get a bunch of reactions like this with an eye roll. Oh, here's Deke telling us how to feel. Or it's Deke in the mainstream media, the national mainstream media, telling us how to feel about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Like, what do you mean? I get to see Tomlin and the Steelers team week in and week out. They suck. They just lost to back-to-back 2-win teams. Like, you got to be kidding me. We need to move on. We got to go in a different direction. It's rock bottom. This sucks. This and that. I get it. Yes, the Steelers season has not played out as expected. There are clear improvements that need to be made. But at the same time, what's that saying? Facts over feelings? Fact, the Steelers are in the playoffs right now. Fact, the Steelers are in the playoff mix. Fact, they control their own destiny. Fact, no one knows how these next 4 games are going to end. So as much as you may want to think we're going to go 0-4, miss the playoffs, well, it's the NFL. We have just as good of a chance to go 4-0 and make the playoffs and get hot at the right time. Because, fact, when Kenny Pickett is the quarterback, the Steelers win games. Fact, Matt Canada sucks. And in our first game and a half without Matt Canada, I think the offense was improving and looking in the right direction. The unfortunate part is we have not been able to string continuity together because Kenny Pickett getting hurt. Injuries not only to Pickett, though, just across the board. The inside linebackers on defense. Some of this continuity and consistency has been tough. But my response to all the people that think the sky is falling, it's the end of the world. Like, I'm with Tomlin on the last game. It came down to 1 or 2 plays because what was everyone's prediction for that Thursday night football game against the Patriots? Low scoring, going to be back and forth, right? What happened? Mitch threw the untimely pick in the first half, the terrible pick in the first half, and that attributed to the Patriots getting an easy touchdown. So literally right there, Mitch doesn't throw the pick, or if the Steelers get the stop in the red zone, Pittsburgh wins the game and we're sitting at 8-5, tied with the Kansas City Chiefs. The team, that has Mahomes and everyone thinks is a Super Bowl favorite. Sure, I get it. They have Patrick Mahomes, but at the same time, literally, Mitch doesn't throw that pick, we would have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't think we're that far off. I don't. The problem has been the continuity, being able to stack together wins, get that consistency going. But I'd also think you'd be foolish to not attribute injuries as a factor as to why. Now, obviously, next man up, this and that. It can't be the excuse for everything. But it has played a role. So I hope we can get healthier. Right now, we got TJ and Highsmith, concussion protocol. Hopefully, Kenny can come back sooner rather than later and get this thing headed in the right direction. That I know it can go. But hopefully, it's not too little too late because we have squandered some pretty good opportunities these last, several weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Last thing, I'm trying to think. Oh, George Pickens. I guess he liked an Instagram reel that was mocking Kenny Pickett in the Cardinals game. Here's the video.
Fuck!
I'd bet you not only Pickens, but a bunch of you guys like the video. And I don't even know if it's legit. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't want to be reporting fake news out here. Because I checked today, and apparently Pickens doesn't like the video anymore. He could have unliked it. Either way, this just needs to stop. This is immature type of stuff. Pickens, I get it. You want the ball more. You're frustrated. And you have the right to be frustrated. You are an old world talent. But that also doesn't mean you can display your frustrations or your emotions however you want without consequences. And this is actually something Tomlin brought up in his press conference today, because they asked him about Pickens and him being frustrated on the sidelines and what Tomlin thinks of that.
Is the way that George has kind of sort of openly and vocally voiced his frustrations on the sideline a problem for you or for the team?
It's a problem because it's not solution oriented. We're all frustrated, but we got to manage our frustrations in a professional, mature way. And when it's not done that way, it's not necessarily pushing us toward solutions. And so from that perspective, certainly.
So I don't know what excuse Pickens can use for this one, because I feel like he's already out of the whole, I don't equate social media to what's going on in real life or what's going on within the Steelers organization, because he's already been made aware of that. It's almost like one of those, fool me once, that's on me. Fool me twice, though, that's on you.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
So I would suggest, if he wanted to, just say, yeah, I took that to the next level. I just got off social media in general. I don't even have it on my phone. I gave the account to a family member like my brother or something. So whatever he's doing on there, that's on him. But once you use that excuse, then you're out of that one. And end of the day, this just needs to be the last time any of this social media stuff happens. Like, come on, bro. But that's it for Big Deke News on a Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on what I discussed here down in the comments. Stay chilling, and peace.